Unit 3 describes the progression of the response to intervention, or RTI model, and the impact that the reauthorization of IDEA has had on the prevention of learning and behavior difficulties with the recommended use of this model. Past and present challenges for identifying students with learning disabilities, as well as the challenges for implementing an RTI approach, are described in detail. Although there are many frameworks for implementing RTI, there are critical components that everyone agrees are essential. This is the tiered approach and is described in your text, in the Fuchs and Fuchs article, and in your IRIS modules. At Tier 1, effective instruction is delivered to all students. This instruction should be effective for roughly 80 to 90% of students. For those 5 to 15% who are not responding to this intervention, more intensive instruction is necessary. At Tier 2, evidence-based small group instruction is delivered with progress monitored frequently to ensure this instruction is effective for the learners. If it is not effective, new interventions may be tried. However, for those non-responders at Tier 2, individualized interventions are necessary. These interventions must be highly intensive, evidence-based, and delivered by teachers who are knowledgeable in intervention delivery. This level of intensity is typically necessary for 3 to 5% of students. It is important to note that students are not Tier 1 or Tier 2 or Tier 3. Rather, students at the higher tiers still receive supports at the previous tiers. Therefore, a student identified as needing individualized Tier 3 supports will still receive small group instruction at Tier 2 and whole group instruction at Tier 1. This unit goes on to focus on the social and behavioral aspects of students with learning and behavioral difficulties. This portion of the unit begins with an explanation of ways to arrange the classroom environment, cooperative learning groups, and instructional practice to be conducive to the teaching and learning process. Emphasis is placed on the importance of selecting, organizing, and developing appropriate instructional materials and equipment to assure classroom management. The Behavior Management Principle of Positive Behavioral Intervention Supports, or PBIS, is covered in this unit. PBIS is a tiered approach, similar to RTI, which addresses problem behavior. The Association for Positive Behavior Supports website, included in the multimedia section of this unit, is a great resource for those of you interested in PBIS. At Tier 1, students receive instruction and reinforcement for engaging in school-wide rules and routines. Students at Tier 2 receive small group support with additional reinforcement to match their social and behavioral needs. They might receive supports via behavior report card, self-monitoring, or social skills instruction. At Tier 3, students require more individualized behavior support. In order to provide this support, we have to determine why the student is engaging in problem behaviors. What is the function of the behavior? This unit provides a description of the purpose and procedures for conducting a functional behavior assessment, but this is just a brief overview as there are other courses in this program that will go more in depth with this process. The unit concludes with several interventions designed to increase appropriate behaviors and decrease inappropriate behaviors. The Leopson, Umbright, Farrow, Urso, and Uprati article describe one method for developing function-based intervention. The function-based intervention decision model is one I am very familiar with and utilize myself. Your lesson plan is due on Wednesday. Please follow the template and the rubric. Your lesson plans need detail. To write, I'll show a video to introduce the topic will not be enough. What video? Is there a link? What is the video about? What does it cover? Your lesson plan should be written in such a way I can pick it up and teach the lesson just like if I were a substitute teacher. You can choose the skill or procedure to teach as well as the age group. You can teach a large group or a small group lesson, or even an individual lesson to a student receiving Tier 3 supports. It's up to you. Take a look at this lesson plan assignment now, if you haven't already, so you can ask me any questions you might have. I will not be able to pre-grade your lesson plan, but I can answer specific questions for you. I will be traveling June 23rd, so plan to grade your lesson plans and provide feedback while on the plane. To do this, I will have to download all of your assignments, so please check the syllabus to see how to name and save your assignments. I will email you your lesson plans with feedback and track changes the evening of June 23rd, so you have feedback before you have to write your second lesson plan. You're all doing great. Let me know if there's anything I can do to make your experience in this class better, including providing access to any materials for a topic you've developed specific interest in. I love pointing students in the direction of further learning.